We all know that United are going to sign a midfielder or two in the next couple of transfer windows. We've spoken about Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson. Now, let's have a little conversation about Joao Gomes from Wolves. I'd explain how this isn't the first time we've been linked, not the first time we've spoken about him. What that means, let's just have a chat. Let's get into it. We really are going to be having plenty of conversations on this channel about midfielders over the next year until we sign, hopefully, 2 of them in the summer. Maybe 1 in January, but I don't really think so, if I'm being completely honest. Now, I want to speak about Joao Gomes, okay? I'm going to run through, as I said in the intro, where these stories have emerged from, why it's not the first time we've spoken about him, take a quick look at his stats so far this season, compare him to Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, and Adam Wharton, and have a little conversation about him. But let me know straight away, what's your take on these Joao Gomes rumours? Right? Do you think they're just hot air coming out of nowhere because United need a midfielder, or is this just another Premier League midfielder that United might be looking at to strengthen the midfield? Because we can go the whole way back to 2022 when his name was first mentioned to United. That was when he was playing for Flamengo. He ended up moving to Wolves. That's quite funny there. Rob Dawson from ESPN. The reports actually came back and spoke about Andreas Pereira, the United player who was on loan there, I think at the time before we sold him. That's quite funny. But then last summer, the Joao Gomes reports came back up again. Fabrizio Romano saying that United were one of multiple clubs linked with a move for him. Ben Jacobs following it up there, saying that United were scouting, taking a look at both Joao Gomes and Andre from Fluminense, who of course ended up moving to Wolves. And 60 million was the price quoted at that point. The price won't be 60 mil now. And maybe that's part of why this is a conversation. And maybe that's part of why the rumours have come back up again this week. I think they started from, was it Team Talk? Whoever it was earlier. And now it's Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail with Nathan Salt saying that as well as Baleba, Anderson and Wharton, Joao Gomes is a midfielder that United are looking at. Now, let's take a quick look at how he's been playing so far this season. All right, just some top-level stats because the data is going to be part of United's approach for finding a midfielder. That's just the way the transfers go these days. Wolves have had a crap season. I don't have to tell you that. Wolves are going down. You would be absolutely amazed if Wolves don't go down this year. Losing Ait Nouri, losing Cunha, not replacing them properly. Who else did they lose? They sell their striker as well. Can't remember who else. But he's featured for the majority of Wolves' season so far. You can see his heat map there, heavily on the left-hand side, playing sometimes in a midfield 3, I think with Andre in the middle and someone else on the right-hand side. But he's an aggressive midfielder. I think this is quite an important stat. You can see there, so far, just behind Cunha when it comes to offensive duels won by Premier League midfielders. He is an aggressive midfielder. And United will be taking that into account. Now, in terms of the price, and again, I'll be curious to know what you think in the comments. So he joined Wolves back in, 2023? On around about a £15 million deal. You've got Ben Jacobs over here, there, another one, saying that he was valued at 60 mil, and that was last summer. Now, I do not think that's going to be the case this summer. And this may well be, and I said this in the live show today, this may well be United kind of sitting there looking and feeling like it's a similar situation to Liam Delap and Ipswich. Now, there's going to be a lot of you that will say, hold on, Sam, we dodged a bullet by not signing Liam Delap. I don't know why he chose Chelsea. That's such a stupid career move. Anyway, your choice. But United looked at Liam Delap, not because he was the best striker available, but because, he had a 30 million release clause if Ipswich got relegated, which they were going to get relegated. Maybe this is an opportunity that we could take advantage of. I get the feeling that United might be looking at Joao Gomes in the exact same way. A player who last summer was rated at 60 million. After the season that Wolves have had, that price has dropped dramatically. But would he be the right midfielder? Let's take a quick look and compare him, just statistically, and this data's only the top level thing, all right? We can't go in deep into the research at this point. It's kind of be a little bit pointless. This is him compared to Elliot Anderson and the season so far. And you can see where they stand out and where they are different. Elliot Anderson over here, he's the blue, right? So shot creating actions, expected goals and expected assists. He's quite similar to Joao Gomes so far in terms of the progressive passes, stuff over here. Let's compare him to Carlos Baleba. You can see that Joao Gomes, I actually didn't realise it, in terms of progressive carries, actually a little bit better than Carlos Baleba this season. It kind of, I suppose, shows how poor Baleba has been this season by his own standards. Down here, tackles and interceptions, pretty similar. What about Adam Wharton? Now, I think with the Adam Wharton one, something to take into account when you look at this. Adam Wharton's played a lot less minutes. I think half as many minutes as Joao Gomes, if not less, and a third of the minutes of Elliot Anderson because he's been injured at different points. But you can see where, statistically, he's been better than Adam Wharton this season in terms of progressive. That surprised me as well. Progressive carries, progressive passes, tackles. But Adam Wharton there, in terms of expected goals and assists and shot-creating actions, that's where Adam Wharton is at his strongest so far this season. So on paper, that's just how he matches up to the three other midfielders so far this season, well, actually in the last 365 days, that United have been linked with. Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, and Adam Wharton. Just out of curiosity. Maybe United looking at this and going, well, he linked up with Matheus Cunha before. Is this an opportunity? Do I think that Joao Gomes would be a better signing than any of these three? My instinct would be to say no. Not that it would make him a bad signing, but I don't think he'd be that top-level elite signing, which I think any of these three could be in their own rights, and it depends which one you want to go for. I see a lot of United fans these days screaming Elliot Anderson at the top of that list because he is that all-action midfielder. But whether it's... Matheus Cunha will definitely sing his praises because they had a great relationship at Wolves. But the Joao Gomes reports aren't just coming this week off the back of it being an international break. As I said, you can go the whole way back to 2022 when United were first linked with scouting him. You can go back to last summer when United were linked with a move for him, and the price at that point was 60 mil. And then you fast forward to now where United are being linked again. Now, this might, as I said, just be that United are maybe in a week's time or so, a couple of weeks' time, we might be having a conversation about Alex Scott from Bournemouth to add to the list of Premier League midfielders that United are taking a look at. And it may well go no further than that. But Joao Gomes, as I said, my instinct is telling me that United might be looking at it and going, this might be an opportunity to sign a player who, right now, his stock isn't as high as it could be. But his stock could be higher, and we might be able to get him for a cut price because Wolves are likely getting relegated. That's the way I see these reports at this moment in time. You can let me know what you think in the comments below, as you always do. Joao Gomes, as I said, I think we're going to have a conversation about Alex Scott at some point in the next month or two. Add him. So that's Scott, Wharton, Baleba, Anderson, Gomes. That's 5 different Premier League midfielders. Are there any others you want to add to that list? Maybe there are some more. You can let me know what you think in the comments below.